Tane from Explode Creative Illustration Tutorials such and such. I'm here again, it's been a while. This is a tutorial on how to do some quick and easy cartoon eyes. And what I'm going to show you today is pretty much my technique I've been using for sort of live caricatures and stuff, because I need to make eyes really quickly. So, start off, I usually just kind of, I think, you know, really all you have to do is draw the top half of a lemon. And oh boy, you know, sometimes you gotta do it a couple of times to get it right. But this is what I call sort of the 3-ring technique. It sounds a bit prissy, but let's just go for it. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to draw a little reflection circle, and that's gonna hang just underneath the eyelid there. Underneath that, I'm gonna draw the pupil, and that's gonna connect halfway through that reflection circle, and the pupil's going to be sitting just under the eyelid again. So we don't want to see all of the pupil, we want to only see a little bit of that pupil, because it's going to just sit underneath that eyelid. It looks a bit better like that. Because if you draw, I think if you draw the pupil without being underneath the eyelid, they look like wide, staring, frightened deer in the headlights eyes. So anyway, that's one ring there, that's reflection circle, that's the pupil, and the next is we're going to do just the iris. So that's the, you know, the coloured ring of the eye, and it can kind of come around. I mean, it can be a full circle if you like, if you can get a good draw going on. A full circle like that. I'm just super lazy and quick, I usually just go like that. And there we have it. This is my technique for an eye, and this is kind of what I use 80% of the time when I can't figure out someone's eye. When I'm doing a caricature of them, I go, I just draw this, basically. And for everyone else, I use a slight variation of this. So if you've done this eye, we'll go on to another variation of it, and that is the extremely light blue eye. So have a look at a Miranda Kerr's eyes. She's got very light blue piercing eyes. So let's just do this exact same thing. I'm gonna draw the top half of the lemon, and I'm gonna draw the reflective circle. But this time the pupil is gonna be kind of tiny, and the iris is gonna be, you know, big. Well, there we go. That's your blue piercing eyes. And it seems to work pretty well. What about people with brown eyes, like Lucy Liu? She doesn't have too much of a, you know, a light colour in the eyes. That's even easier. Check this out. Let's do another top half of the lemon, reflective circle. Well, actually, you know what we can do? Let's do the reflective circle, and just do one big pupil. One huge pupil. And there's your brown eye. So that's all good, I mean, but what about different people's eyes? Because these 3 eyes, they're pretty good. They'll get you through most of the day, but in the end, everyone's eyes are so different. Everyone's eyes have different shapes. Let's have a look at Jerry Seinfeld's eyes. Now he's got some, yeah, I'd say his eyes are pretty close to my original technique. Check it out. You can even see the 3 rings. You've got the reflective, your pupil, and your iris there. So if we just go ahead and kind of cover that. Hang on. So if I get that brush size down a little bit. Reflective, pupil, and iris. So that's almost, but his eyes are really open. He's actually got some pretty staring, kind of freaky, I don't know, gonna get your eyes. So if we pull the iris down from underneath the eyelid, we get that staring quality. And you can see that his upper eyelids they're a little bit prominent. So you put some upper eyelids on there, and that's pretty cool. Now, if you're asking why aren't I connecting the bottom of the eye like that? Why am I not doing that? Well, just because, like, look at this. It suddenly it looks tired, like he's completely, he's gone back on the weed or something. That's to my sensibilities. It looks kind of tired when you do the whole football shape, the whole sort of lemon shape of the eye. So I like to leave that bottom bit out. Unless there are some special kinds of eyes, like say they've got a lot of mascara. Is that the right word? Eye shade? I don't know. They've got a lot of eye shade going on, and it kind of comes around like that, maybe, and then you know, sort of do some blah blah blah. That's when I might connect the entire eye. But usually I'm just doing the top half of the lemon so that they don't look so tired. Now let's observe the shape here. Let's have a look at this the shape of her eyes. Oh, don't zoom out. You zoom in, you fool. Now she's got a lot of eye shadow or shade or whatever. So, you know, I'm going to do that upper eyelid again, that lemon shape. And then I'm going to go like that again. And then I might actually kind of dress it up, go over it a little bit more. And again, just doing the same old technique. Reflective, pupil, iris. And she's got some super duper lashes, so I'm gonna maybe bring it around. And I'm thinking even, you know, the pupil could be even smaller for this, like, oh no, not that softness, come on now. If you really want to get that, if someone's got some incredibly bright blue eyes, that's pretty much it. A really small pupil will get you there. And again with the eyelid. That's kind of her construct, I guess, in caricature form, in cartoon form. We're not going for full realism here, but we're still trying to get that quality that looks like them, using the same sort of three-ring technique kind of thing. Now, Clint Eastwood, here's a different one. Well, you know what? I might start with Gary Newman here. I'll move on to Clint Eastwood, because this guy, he's got some extreme kind of eyeshadow going on. But notice his eyes, his upper eyelid kind of droops over the top of his eyes themselves. So here's the sort of the next variation of our technique that we're going to reuse and reuse. You know, usually we just do we draw the upper of eyelid like that. We do those three rings. But this time, actually, I'm going to start by doing this. It's basically I don't know, what do we call that? Like a tent shape? Because this upper eyelid is going to be hanging over the top of the eye. And now, underneath that, the usual, the reflector, the pupil, the eyelid, the iris. And we can even kind of pump this up with some more. Now this guy's got eyeshadow all around his eye, so I could just take this all the way around the eye. Because, I mean, the eyeshadow does actually kind of makes him look tired, so I'm okay with that. As long as I'm not making someone who doesn't look tired. I don't want to do that. Yeah, so we've got that. You know, just doing a bit of context there with the nose. So that's what's kind of how his eyes would turn out in my style. And remember, guys, that's just a tent shape here. We're starting with the bottom right upwards and just coming down from somewhere in the top there. The same technique I would use for Clint Eastwood. Let's have a look. his eyes are very squinty. So let's just go very low tent to the ground. And to keep that squint going, I'm actually going to close down the bottom of the eyelid. So you can hardly even see anything under there. I mean, we could even just exaggerate it and just go like this. Like that would be probably what I would do for Clinty. So yeah, again, that's just the low down tent. And then for someone who's squinting, when that upper eyelid moves upwards to kind of cover some of the eye, that's when I actually draw it in so people know, well, that's moving up and that's making them squint a little bit. Now, let's talk about Lucy Liu. Her eyes are different because, so you look at the way his eyes, Gary Newman's eyes kind of slanted downwards, like they went down. They kind of felt like they were going down. And that's what I mean by like when the outer edge of the eye is lower than the inner section, the little tear duct. Think of the two tear ducts. The inner one, when that's higher than the outer one, that creates a downward slant of the eye. But in this case, check that out. The outer one is excuse me, higher than the inner one. So let's do that. Let's just go ahead and create that football shape. And she's got a kind of a... Oh, she's smiling. So when people smile, their lower eyelid just kind of comes up and covers, you know, a fair bit of the eye. And so again, with the eye makeup and some eye stuff, eye lashes, God, I don't know what they're called, juice. And then I'm going to do the pupil here. And because she's got black eye, it sounds like a disease, but I can just do a single circle and fill in the pupil. But for females who have dark eyes, I like to do two little circles. Gives them kind of a shine in the eyes, like a tinkle, like a twinkle. And that kind of looks fairly good to me. And that would be Lucy Liu's eyes, so like say if we did two of them, and if I wanted to exaggerate it, I'd kind of go like, tilt them upwards a lot more. Kind of like this. Now this is my technique entirely, guys. Like I don't know where I must have stolen this. It feels like it came from kind of an anime background, maybe. Like maybe I copied that sort of reflective. It's kind of anime, but I took it in a different direction with this technique. And as I say, this is my technique. You can take it or leave it. Maybe best to appropriate it to your own style drawing. And that would be kind of Lucy Liu's eyes in cartoon, I suppose. Like that. So yeah, guys, I mean, anything else to cover here? I don't think so. Remember, a little bit of a conclusion. Let's do that. Remember that top half of the lemon, reflective, pupil, iris. For bright blue eyes, just a tiny pupil, that's it. For dark eyes, all pupil. And this technique, I developed this so that I could do really quick live caricatures. And so far it hasn't really let me down. Again, people who have eyelids that kind of form over their eyes, do that tent shape. Squinty people, really squinty. You can, I mean, sometimes even people have really high tent shape eyes. You never know. This looks really droopy, but it can occur. You can see this sometimes. There are people walking around looking like that. Yeah, so just enjoy the technique. That's my own sort of brand of drawing eyes, I guess. Muck around with it, see what you can do with it. Next time I think I'll just check out how to draw noses, and I'll just do a little series in depth on how to do different features. So, look, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.